Hey yo, what is going on? Hi everyone, Robert here, and welcome to, let's say, the Barbed Wire Massacre 3 review. And this time around, I'm not doing this alone. I have Kyle from the Daily Impact. Go ahead and say hello, Kyle.
Robert does wrestling. Thank you for letting me do wrestling with you tonight.
So tonight we're talking about the hottest thing that happened yesterday in the world of professional wrestling, the Barbed Wire Massacre. So, for just who of you who did not see the match, go out of your way. It was really good, a very, fast-paced, driven type of matchup with the history of the Barbed Wire Massacre being something that have been protected over the years by the different regimes that Impact have, with the first one being Abyss and Sabu, Turning Point 2005, the second one being El Mesías. That is my favorite wrestler from this island, El Mesías, the Messiah. Judas Messiah, you might also know him as Mil Muertes, Ricky Banderas, whatever name you may want to call him, versus the Monster Abyss on against Olots. I think that was 2007, if I'm not mistaken. And the third one being LAX versus oVe. So I guess oVe and the new LAX had big shoes to fill. Kyle, how do you think this would compare against the other two Barbed Wire Massacres?
Oh, well, you got some very, very big shoes to fill. First one, all-time classic. Second one, very good. So this third time around, the third edition of Barbed Wire Massacre, let me just say this to you, Rob. I thought it was a great match. I thought the guys killed themselves out there. But there's a big problem with this match. And I'm not the only one that, felt this way. And I'm sure you probably already know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of have that idea, but let before we even recap the whole thing, I want to ask a question for everybody in the audience right now. Out of all of the things that happened during that match, all the spots, which one was your favorite one? So I'm gonna recap the whole thing real quick, and then let me know either on the chat room or on the comments below via once this video is archived. What was your favorite spot during the match? So at the beginning, LAX teased throwing oVe into the barbed wire, but oVe was able to successfully run and rolls under the ring. Then Santana did a senton over the barbed wire into oVe without touching the barbed wire.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful moment right there.
Great jump.
Gracefully.
Yeah, great jump. A lot of athleticism and courage. That tastes good coordination, because you can either do something very stupid and end up fucking up the spot with the barbed wire, or missing the people on the outside. For this was beautiful. After that, we got LAX hitting oVe with the chairs and the crash lids on the outside. Then Homicide and Sammi Callihan got into a sword fight. After that, Santana was able to spear Dave into a barbed wire board in the corner. Later, Santana tried to splash but missed. Jade went face first into the barbed wire, and then Homicide was able to attack him with a fork on the mouth. Ala Abdullah the Butcher, but without the hepatitis C.
without the Hep C. But plenty of unprotected shots around, plenty of CTE going around, plenty of concussion classics, but no hepatitis.
Yeah.
No hepatitis.
Yeah, at least at least this one was hepatitis C free. So after that, oVe was able to suplex Homicide into a barbed wire chair on the outside. Homicide went ahead after that and poured a bottle of tequila into Dave, and then Sammi Callihan was able to do the green mist stuff with the tequila on Homicide. Then Ortiz was able to hit a suplex from chairs to the barbed wire board to Jade on the outside. After that, Sammi Callihan gave Homicide a front superplex into the barbed wire. Later down the line, LAX gave Sammi Callihan a double suplex to the inside, right? But the referee was too distracted with Homicide on the outside of the ring, so the whole thing and the whole count went only to 2. So after that, Konnan went ahead and was able to free Homicide with wire cutters. Santana was able to roll Jay into a barbed wire, and after that, carried him over and hit him with a dead valley driver into a barbed wire board. After that, Jade out of nowhere was able to spear Santana into a table from the inside of the ring all the way to the outside of the ring. Sammi Callihan gave Santana a tombstone pile driver into the barbed wire chair. Later down the line, Callihan set some tables and a ladder into the ring. Sammi put Santana on the table while Dave Crist was escalating the ladder. Konnan came in for the save and was able to hit Sammi Callihan with a barbed wire bat. Santana, who was carrying a bamboo skewers in his back pocket, was able, and listen to this folks, he stabbed those bamboo skewers into the head of Dave Crist. After that, Santana gave a superplex from the ladder all the way to the table, and that was it. Winners and still the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Latin American Exchange, LAX. What are your thoughts on this whole transition, Kyle?
Oh man, it was insane. Total insanity. Just crazy spot after crazy spot. You're talking all out violent hardcore warfare. But, Robert, I had one big problem with this whole match. It bothered me from beginning to end. You look at the first 2 barbed wire massacres, and, if you look down the line, or to the past of all the classic barbed wire matches like Sabu and Terry Funk at Born to Be Wired 97, Japanese wrestling filled with the FMW stuff, and all throughout the history of professional wrestling, anytime you see these barbed wire type gimmick matches, Robert, where's the blood? I did not see a lot of blood in this match, and I feel like it really would have benefited if it was more colorful, if these guys were, But here's the debate. Here's the question. Do you think that, blading in general, just blood in wrestling is a thing of the past and it has no place here today, or is it something that you wish you would have seen? Robert, tell me, how are you feeling?
I think there was blood, but the hard way. That is
Yeah,
that's insane. Also, that without without even beginning to criticize, mad props to everybody involved on this match.
oh, without a doubt, they
Yeah,
killed him
yeah,
out there.
they went balls deep all the way, man. And you know, I think even a little bit of blood would have been more than sufficient, especially by OBE, and they were wearing white clothes. Therefore,
Yeah, yeah.
the effect is gonna be, a lot more powerful. Either way, I was, I enjoyed this match at all, and I have my criticism, later down the line, because I think there is what they were looking for. They were able to get it, but it didn't matter at all. But that is for later, a little bit later. However,
Uh-huh.
the blood, it didn't need it, that just because of the crazy amount of stuff that happened. My favorite spot during this whole thing was when Ortiz was able to wrap, I think it was Jake, into the barbed wire, and then did the Dead Valley driver
Oh my
on
God.
the board on the corner. That
Oof.
that was crazy. That was
That was
insane.
nuts. That was insane. Me personally, though, Robert, my favorite part of the match was the finish, the very end. Taking the barbecue skewers into the forehead, then suplexing him off a ladder through 2 tables. That was nuts, man. That was totally insane. That was my favorite part of the match, the very end.
There, I don't know if you heard that, but there were people criticizing that ending because it was similar to Lucha Underground match that happened not that long ago. But however,
Oh, wow.
yeah, you cannot come in with new spots every single match around the world. Not everybody have a new spot, and it is like saying, hey, you have a car or something like that. It was common. It is not, let's say, once in a lifetime. It would take something quite insane. So I don't think that hurts that match at all. What? Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that the people were expecting it to be a little more gruesome because it was just so hyped up going in. There was all that controversy surrounding it with the whole Twitch and Pop TV thing. And Robert, let me lay this out to you. This is my own little conspiracy theory. Before we got on the air here, we were talking about, conspiracy theories. I have a little conspiracy theory. I think that they let off on the blood a little bit because they wanted to have the match to be as suitable for TV as possible. Like going in, they thought this was going to be on Pop TV. They advertised it as the first ever barbed wire rope match on national television. But when Pop TV ended up, Pop TV ended up dropping the match anyway. So it's like they got screwed there a little bit. I think if they knew that it were going to be an exclusive Twitch match, then I think they would have made it a little more colorful. They would have, let the blood flow a little more. At least I think so.
Yeah, I see your point of view with that. And now let's talk about Twitch, because oh boy, this was a missed opportunity. Let me explain myself. So Impact Wrestling was able to get around 10k, 10,000 people watching the live stream. That is a big number for a live event. Let me give a comparison, and we're gonna be touching a little bit of politics, but this is not a political thing at all. There was a YouTube debate that happened, for not that long ago, about 2 weeks ago. It was between Sargon of a Cat, who is more of a liberal type of guy, and this famous white nationalist Richard Spencer, and that whole thing gathered around 11K watchers at that live stream at that moment in time. But what happened? That live stream ended up making the front page of YouTube. And once you go to the front page of YouTube, you are almost guaranteed to get millions of views. That almost doesn't fail. That's just the way David Richards and Eddie Edwards were able to gather 20 million views during the one of the matches that they have during Impact, which, just in case you don't know, that is the most watched Impact Wrestling video of all time, and that was the way they were able to do. I think
the Eddie and Davey clip.
Yeah.
You're telling me that's more viewed than any of the broken mat stuff, or even like Ric Flair and Jay Lethal woo off, which is still viral to this day. I still see that pop up virally on the internet and memes.
Yeah, but those videos might have more views if you gave all the different versions of the whole stuff. Yeah. But at least
this single Impact video you're saying is their most of all time.
Eddie Edwards and David Richards with, I think it was 23 million last time I checked. It was almost hit 24 million. Which was something that went under their radar. I know they had a great feud, but I didn't know that.
Actually, Robert, I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. I got YouTube in my hand right now. Just to put you on the spot here, I went on YouTube, and actually, that's not the most viewed YouTube video in Impact's history. It's the second most viewed. Do you know what the number one most viewed Impact Wrestling video is?
No.
It is the Knockouts Evening Gown match, Madison Rayne versus Angelina Love, at 63 million views. In second place is the street fight between Eddie and Davey at 24 million views. But sex sells. The Evening Gown match, Knockouts Evening Gown match, Madison Rayne versus Angelina Love, that is at 63 million views.
So
wow.
You're telling me there's a lot of perverts in the 80s?
It's some not wrestling fans, some hurlses out there, you know what I mean? Some of those guys.
So the whole thing is that if they, instead of going for Twitch, they would have aim at Twitch and YouTube at the same time, maybe the result would have been a lot better. And if they would have gotten into the front page of YouTube, they are almost guaranteed over 1 million views and countless articles about the match. I went and I did a little bit of a scan about the match. The only like mainstream coverage that I saw about it, as about 5 hours before I shot this, that was when I did, I went in for a research. I saw like a article from, I think it is the Mirror, no, the Sun from the UK, something like that. But outside of that, it didn't get that mainstream coverage. So what that would lead me to say, hey, they draw good on the ratings. This week, this episode was good, on par with the ratings Jeff Jarrett was delivering. But there was a way to at least show something. I think it would have been the ratings would have been a bit up. It is like it was our hard decision to make. It was either gonna give that exclusive to Twitch or divide that pie, and maybe you wouldn't have gotten the same impact, pun intended. But I think the wisest how can you put it, the wisest move is by doing it at either, at both sides, Twitch and YouTube. Who, by the way,
And
yeah, I see Impact using the uh, they there is a name of that, is something like avalanche. It is when you put content all over the place. That was the way, we're talking about conspiracy. The way Alex Jones got so famous was because of that. He let everybody upload his stuff. Therefore, they were promoting his stuff for free. That was how he was able to get as big as he is, and he have a lot of power. And
oh yeah,
and I see Impact using the same tactic as Alex Jones and other people have used.
oh you've got the Twitch TV now, which I think, yeah, it probably would have been very beneficial for them to put it onto YouTube. But what better way to kick off the partnership with Twitch and the new channel than kicking it off with an event like this? Those great numbers there. They did very good. I mean, have you checked out the Twitch channel outside of this match? It's really cool, man. It's pretty awesome. It just plays Impact Classic TNA all day long, and you get a chat room, and it's a heavily moderated chat room, so there really aren't too many trolls. You're really just hanging out with Impact fans and chatting along while you're watching this programming for 24 hours, and I gotta say, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're showing a lot like pay-per-view quality type of stuff. I haven't seen like a single episode of Impact. This
Oh
morning.
no, I watched the 2004 Impact yesterday. It was awesome.
Yeah,
2000
I saw
Fox Sports.
I saw this morning AJ versus Abyss from Lockdown 2005. Then
Oh, yeah.
I returned here like in the middle of the day, and they were showing AJ versus Jarrett with Tito Ortiz as the referee. And just before I started this whole thing up, they were showing the Lockdown with Bobby Roode versus James Storm. I think that was 2012, which that was one of the dumbest shit they did back in the day, not to give James Storm the title at that moment in time in Tennessee. Let me remind you, on a pay-per-view. Yeah, I don't know why they did like the blue balls, beans type of deal when they bring out the hometown hero just to humiliate it and make it lost, look like a loser, just like the town. I never, understood that mentality, and I don't know why they did that at this moment in time. But as there's no turning back. The clock cannot be turned back, and it is what it is. Things are starting to pick up, and ratings are starting to pick up. That was the thing that I was more concerned about ever since the baby Heyman, aka Cyrus, who's you, by the way, he's bald in the same way as Paul Heyman, without even trying. I found the whole thing hilarious, but but that was what I was concerned the most, because they never talk about numbers during any of the conferences or interviews or anything like that. They never put like goals that could be quantified, and people who care about results might be like skeptical. But at least this time around it worked. It's working. It's working some. What are your final thoughts about this whole thing before we wrap this whole thing up?
It's totally going to be remembered as a classic match. It was awesome. I really loved it. I'm a huge fan of LAX. OVE is cool. I don't hate OVE, but I'm a big marketing mark for LAX. The Latin American Exchange. They are awesome. This match was fantastic. Like I said, Robert, I think it could have used some more blood in the match, but I understand the circumstances. They put on the best match that they could possibly put on with what was given to them, and man, totally killed it. Once again, my favorite part of the match was the very end. I loved that skewers spot to the forehead, suplex off the ladder through 2 tables by Santana. Fantastic, great match. I think this was the perfect way to kick off the whole partnership with Twitch. I think it brought a lot of people to the Twitch app that maybe used to watch Impact when it was TNA in the Spike years, haven't checked it out in a while because, let's be honest, they've totally lost some fans over the past, 5-6 years. And this was a good way to, bring a lot of people back. And, whoever logged into the Twitch, a good amount of people are going to hang out and check it out again. And they're going to, it's good. It's good. It's really good for the brand. It's good for it to get some growing, increasing numbers in the fan base. The LAX are going to be legends. I hope you know that. We're looking at a legendary tag team, right? They didn't even reach their peak yet. They're going to be something very special, and this is just the beginning, man. That is how I feel about them. But bottom line, Robert, it was a great, fantastic match, and it will be remembered for years and years to come.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. They're LAX, the new reincarnation of LAX. They have a bright future, and they are already...
They have something very special right now. Witness greatness in front of our eyes. We're not talking about something looking to the past. We're talking right now, present day. They have something very special with the chemistry between Ortiz, Santana, Konnan. You got Homicide, the grizzled veteran, the legend, putting in so much work. And Diamante, she's been absent for a little bit due to injuries, but Konnan confirmed during the conference call, people. During the conference call, Konnan confirmed that Diamante will return at the next set of tapings, and that's good. You got to love LAX, and I'm not taking anything away from OVE. OVE is great, but I just think it's LAX's time right now.
Yeah, now the whole thing, the next shoe to drop, to say the least, is to find new dancing partner for LAX. So
absolutely,
yeah, that's the a person and a tag team is as good as their dancing partner. So far, so good with OVE. They did a great job, being a great dancing partner, putting a lot of passion into the
it
match.
Takes 2 to tango, or 4 for that matter.
Yeah,
it takes 4 to tango.
So let's see what is next in store for that tag team. I think I think this is it. Thank you to everybody who is listening to this podcast at this moment in time. Thank you, Kyle, for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah. So I guess I will see you next time. If you wanna binge watch any of the stuff that I have produced already, check out over here. It should appear a couple of videos made by me. So that's it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.